Hi friends. Welcome back. I'm Jess. This is the first time you're coming across me. I am a psychic medium, an intuitive channel. I'm gonna pull some cards for us. I'm not quite sure yet the subject of this reading. I just felt very called to come up to my office and start channeling for us. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's find out. We'll see what's going on. I felt called to use the Millennial Tarot tonight. That's what the cards look like. Yes, they're avocados. So funny. It's a really awesome deck. It is just like rather large though, so it's kind of unwieldy to shuffle. So I've taken care of that already. But yeah, let's just see. I don't know. Just dive right in and see what's going on. Spirit, what the fuck? Alright, well, we'll start there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, fine, Spirit. It's fine. I'm like, I don't know, they called me up for some little thing, but apparently it's not a little thing. It's a big thing. Okay. We have the World, which in this deck is called Boozy Brunch. The Fool, the Millennial. Three of Cups, which is Three of Fields in this deck. And the Star. The Soul Cyclist, this one. And then at the bottom we have the Magician, the Tech Visionary. Okay, so, well, let's start with how they're all majors. If this is your first time coming across tarot, or kind of you don't know very much, I'm gonna do my best to explain this efficiently while not droning on. There are 78 cards in tarot, and while there's different variations for theme, like this one, we seem to have quite a few, there are the same cards in a classic tarot deck. There are other styles. We're not going to get into that for the purposes of what we're doing. There's 78 cards. Those cards are divided into two sections, the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. The Major Arcana are the first 22 cards in the deck. They represent collectively the big stuff in our lives. So like big picture things. Think spiritual lessons. Think things that we consider like fate or destiny, which we can talk about later because free will is so important. But no side quests, ADHD focus. Okay. Major Arcana deals with major things in our lives. The Minor Arcana, it's not minor because there's really nothing that's that minor, but the day-to-day stuff in our lives. The Minor Arcana, the other cards, they're divided into 4 suits, Cups being one of them, feels in this deck, and each of those suits represents a different area of our lives. And they all are tied to various other things, elements, astrology, numerology. There's just lots and lots of layers. But I'm on track, I promise. Stay with me. When the majority of the cards, when most of the cards in a reading come from the Major Arcana, this lets you know that what's happening right now, what we're asking about, the message that's coming through is about something big that's happening. And it's really the universe moving things right smack fucking on time for being right in the middle of eclipse. I mean, we have another one on Sunday, the second one on Sunday. But eclipses move us. Eclipses are the universe's opportunity to pick you up and put you over here. It removes things from your life that aren't working for you, and this is where big level ups happen, but often come shrouded as chaos. Okay, so if most of the cards were from the minor arcana, then this would be a time in your life when you have a lot of control or a lot of agency over affecting the outcome of what's going on. My favorite analogy for this is to say that if life is a river, in the river of life, you're in a boat or a canoe, if you will, whichever vessel you like, non-motor powered, with oars, for the purpose of this analogy. So if the cards are mostly from the majors, as this reading is, then this indicates a time in your life when, like, really you're supposed to go with the flow. You're supposed to figure out how to best work with these energies and how to go with it so that you're not fighting. The current is moving way too fast, much too fast for you to be able to do anything about. So the best thing you can do is pull your oars in and let the universe drive the boat, and just do your best to kind of steer as best you can. If the cards were mostly minors, then you could consider the river being slow and still, and then the action that you take is really going to affect, like, where your boat goes. So, how many cards do we have? 2, 4, 5. 4 out of these 5 cards are from the major arcana. Major times, big shit's happening, which again, the eclipses. So much happening. I mean, we kind of started. I did start the reading like one of my favorite readers. Her name's Missy. She's Saltwater Hills Tarot. She always says, "Spirit, what the fuck?" And that's what I asked, and they're like, "Girl," collectively, non-gendered girl. Okay, but what do these specific cards mean? All right, so the World and the Fool. These are the first and last cards of the major arcana in backwards order. So, endings and new beginnings. Endings and beginnings. The World is the ending of a cycle, its completion, its integration. And it's interesting because the world by itself is an ending and a beginning, because all endings are new beginnings. But together, showing that, something is ending soon, there is a new start on the horizon, in the start of a new chapter. And they're just like, I'm just being shown like Sunday. Yes, we are starting a whole new cycle. There's just a lot. It's interesting because if you only sort of like very loosely or lightly follow woo-woo stuff, it's like every week or every month, you're like, this is a once in a lifetime astrological transit. So it feels kind of overblown in general, but these couple of years, they really are like a ton of crazy significant transits that only happen every couple hundred years, like collectively. So there is a lot happening. 3 of Feels is about like leaning into your close relationships, your friendships. Cups feels in this deck, the only card we have from the minor arcana right now in this reading, as a suit, as a what it represents the area of our lives that deal with our emotions. So our relationships, be it romantic or platonic. It's our connection to source or the divine or God, whichever, the universe, insert label here that makes you feel comfortable. It's our connection to our own intuition, and it is kind of how we relate to others through our feels. And 3 of Feels, 3 of Cups, is about our community. It's about how we lean on each other, how we can care for each other, how we can work together and come together to support each other. And I think right now, like, that's being shown that it's a super, super important message for us. It's like a lot is happening, right? Major stuff, major endings, major new beginnings, kind of all of this stuff happening. And the way that we're going to get through this, and what we what is most helpful for us right now is to lean on each other, to invest into community, to invest into friendships and local community, and to see how we can help each other and how we can be there for each other. The star to give us hope. The star is the card that comes after the tower, and if you're unfamiliar, the tower is, it's the card in the deck that represents, I like to say, calamity. It's a tower on fire, usually with lightning and people jumping overboard. Overboard's not right, jumping out, falling out of the sky. It's a very kind of card. But what it really represents is sudden change. And sometimes that change can be rough and painful and scary. But sometimes it just is sudden, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it feels chaotic in the moment, but later we can see why it was for our best benefit. And the positive part of the tower, because there's no bad cards in tarot. There's some that are like you're more excited to see, and others you might be a little more nervous to see, but it's all in context. It's like the other cards in the question. But excuse me, the thing about the tower is that things are different before and after this moment, right? So a lot of times it's a lot of chaos, and the star is the card that comes after. Star is the card that comes after the tower. It is the moment that represents the renewal of hope, the renewal of optimism. It's when things start to get better. It is that moment when we can start to believe that things are going to get better, when we can kind of let our guard down a little bit, take a deep breath. So the way these are coming out is the universe just offering us this guidance to say, yes, there's a lot happening right now. There are big endings, big new beginnings, and it's all a little uncertain right now. And the best thing to do is to lean into our friends and our community, and to trust each other, and to build into this new beginning together, and to believe into this reason to have hope and optimism. It's like this coming together is the reason for the hope. It is the reason that things are going to get better. It is the way that we build new. And incidentally, just for the astrology nerds with me, the star card is represented by the astrological sign of Aquarius, which is, I mean, we've heard of like Age of Aquarius. Pluto moved into Aquarius this year. It's one of these once in a lifetime transits. I mean, this won't. I think Pluto has like a 280 year like cycle to make it all the way through all the signs. So none of us will see this again. But collectively, Pluto in Aquarius is about the collective, and Aquarius is all about humanity and technology and how we can care for the collective and care for humanity in a better way together. 1333 on the clock. And so it's really makes a lot of sense that the star represents coming together after a hard time to lift humanity up and give us hope and renewal for the future. So I love that. The Magician, yet another major arcana card. The Magician reminds us that we have all the tools that we need at our disposal. We have all the tools in our toolbox already to do everything we need to. It's not in this card. I mean, these are very cool cards, but in the traditional depiction of the Magician, there are all four of the elements, one of each of the minor arcana, like all represented, because the message of the magician is that we have all of the magic within us already. We have all of the building blocks, all of the basic elements, all of the tools, everything that we need to alchemize and transmute what we go through into something that we can That's so cheesy, Spirit. Into something we can grow from. Sure, why not? Sometimes they're cheesy AF. Oh my god, yet another major underneath the Chariot. Okay. The Chariot, this is things moving on the move. So even though we might feel stuck right now, things are actually moving forward. And this whole like starting with the World and the Fool, I just feel like we're way closer to this new beginning than we realize. And yes, it is going to be something that we are looking forward to. We'll be excited about when we get there. Listen, everything that I've seen from like all the stuff that I've read and following other astrologers that I respect significantly and other spiritual teachers, the next couple years, this year and next year, very intense. On the other side of that, very significant, profound, hopeful change. Everything crossed. But in the meantime, just take care of yourselves, do the best you can, be kind to each other, don't be an asshole. This message really is all over the place. Alright, Spirit, we're gonna roll with it. I feel like there's more. What is it? Oh no, we'll see. I feel like there's more. What else? Okay, we're adding on. I was gonna try and keep this one under 15 minutes, but that's not that fun. So roll along we go. We have 8 of Fields, 8 of Cups, and then also 8 of Swag, Justice, yet another major arcana card, and Page of Vibes, which in this deck, Vibes is the equivalent to Wands. Wands represents another minor, one of the other minor suits. Wands is represented by the element of fire, and it represents the area of our life where our passions are, our creativity. It's where we take action. Also, in this deck, Swag, 8 of Swag, which is Pentacles, one of the other suits. Now you have 3 out of 4 here. Pentacles it's represented by Earth, and I like to say it's things that we value. So it represents our resources, financial and otherwise, but this suit also represents like our family, our foundations, our stability. Oh, thank you. Good call, Spirit. Forgot that part. Alright. Earlier when I was talking about the tower, and I was talking about like it being on fire, I forgot to say that the reason the tower falls is because the foundation is shaky, because it's not a solid foundation, and so that's why it has to crumble, so that you can build something new that has a more solid foundation. Thank you. Okay. Now back to these guys. 8 of Fields, 8 of Cups. This card is, I'm going to say this is our stalker card right now, for at least my collective, because this card has come up in if not every single collective reading of the last week, then just about every one. This card represents us leaving behind what no longer serves us, what no longer is aligned with our highest good, what is no longer aligned with what we want for ourselves, where we're going. And it's not easy, right? Because we get really comfortable, and sometimes comfort is easier than venturing out to new things. But Eight of Cups talks about how important it is to leave behind what's no longer serving you and to follow your intuition into something new. It's interesting that it comes out with the Eight of Pentacles or Eight of Swag, because this card is all about investing in yourself in terms of mastery of whatever it is you might be working on. So it's like self-mastery and alignment. So choosing yourself, right? So you're choosing yourself and you're moving forward, and at the same time you're investing in yourself and you're investing in what you're working on. Yeah, investing. Yeah, leaving. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, this is really about like leaving behind. I mean, this feels kind of like on a broader social kind of situation platform right now, but it's about like which of society's rules, conformities, whatever that you've been following or we've been following, like what if any of that matters currently, what if any of that is aligned with who you are at your core values. I mean, there's a lot of fuckery going on out in the world that some people don't even want to talk about. Are you okay with that? I'm not okay with what's going on, and I'm going to continue to speak up about what's happening in Palestine and in Sudan and Congo and what's happening fucking here in America also, because it's fucking crazy. So like, are you reevaluating, what people, company, organizations that you've been aligned with to see if those values still represent you, or if perhaps you need to like leave that and figure out who are you and how do you want to invest in your own future moving forward, and then how do you invest in our collective justice and what's fair for you and what's fair for humanity, right? Because that's kind of what the Age of Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius is about. There's big Saturn transits as well. Saturn is the planet of karma, justice. Saturn, justice. But wait, there's more. But the Page of Vibes here, Page of Wands, it's kind of tempering this energy, right? Because this is the long term. No, we're playing a long game kind of situation, and it can be really easy to get burnt out. It can be really easy to get what's the word? Disenfranchised? Is that the right word? Where it's like you kind of get overwhelmed and don't care. And so Page of Wands has a really enthusiastic attitude. They're eager to learn. They come from sort of a student or an apprentice point of view where they are exploring and learning, but they're also open-minded, so they're open to learning from others. They're open to learning from mentors, which the Eight of Swag is also about. It's like mastery and investing in yourself, but also in mentorship and being able to like receive mentorship. So it feels like there's a lot of guidance out there that we can learn from, and for us to be, I don't know, just to keep. This message took a really interesting turn. Okay, hang on. Wrangling this part of the message. It's kind of about like what vibes are we ushering in, right? Like we're going through all this heavy, crazy, karmic upheaval, and it is upending a lot of our systems and a lot of what's happening, and it's just a lot, right? So it'd be really easy to just be like angry and bitter, and to continue to feed into the divisiveness and the hate and all of that like angry, loud negativity that's trying to rise up and be in charge. But no, we need to instead, usher in. It's a hang on, I want to say this the right way. There is not a single like molecule of like love and light and positivity. That's not at all what this is. This is about being able to say that like we are taking the energy back, and that we are carving this new, I don't know, we're creating this new society. I don't know, it just feels like fucking really big to use that word, and I also hate the word paradigm. I just feel like all that is just like all these buzzwords, but it's like we're creating this new energy, right? We're ending this cycle of whatever this bullshit is that's going on, and we are creating this new way that we want to live, right? This new generation that wants to care about humanity collectively, care about the environment, and work together and all that stuff. And this card is saying how important it is for us to keep that energy and to not just be angry and bitter, and yeah, they like disenfranchised, so we'll go with that. I hope that's the right word. Spirit thinks it's the right word, so we'll go with them. But to come into it with bringing this fresh energy of like hope and eagerness and an ability to work together, and an interest in working together, and being open-minded and being excited for what we want to create for the future instead of being fearful. Boy, you all took forever to fucking get to that part of the message. Oh my goodness. Sometimes. We have the Hermit next. It's also another major arcana card. We are going to be going through this period of isolation, introspection, of where we are digging into ourselves individually and collectively, and kind of asking ourselves, like, who are we? Where are we going? What do I stand for? What am I interested in? You have to go into yourself to figure those things out before you can expand outward. And that's kind of where we're at, like right now, is that part. But we're moving out of it quickly because the Chariot. Also, just from a numbers perspective, there's a lot of like forward progression. We have 8. Also have, so you have 7, Chariot, 7, 8, 9 is the Hermit. I think that's it right now. See if there's anything else. Anything else, Spirit? This feels like it. Most of the collective messages I channel are like, not this broad. I mean, a little broad. But then, like, also I've been getting like a lot of love readings coming through recently. But this is the first, like, I feel like kind of like collective humanity fucking reading that's coming through. Alright. I'm here for it. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is cool. I'm not. Another 8. 8, 8, 8. We are being cared for, and there's a lot happening. Eight of Thoughts. I think they just wanted to share the other last minor arcana suit. So Thoughts in this deck is Swords in a traditional deck, and similar to how feels, cups represent our emotions, swords or thoughts, they're both aptly named in this deck, is our like inner world mentally. It's our clarity, it's how we communicate, it's how we receive ideas, it's our logic. The Eight of Thoughts is about being in a mental prison kind of our own making. So think like doom spirals, that kind of stuff. And we get stuck in these loops where we think we can't get out of them, or we don't see a way out because we're too stuck in our head. And this card reminds us that sometimes you actually have to get out of your head and get into your intuition and to trust your gut. And instead of trying to figure it all out, just to trust and follow the breadcrumbs, and you will find your way out. But another 8, so you might be seeing 888. They got fucking jokes, yo, Spirit. It's funny as shit. This is the Strength card. Not, funnily enough, also an 8. Y'all are watching. You watched it happen. You saw it happen just like I did. Okay. 8's being clearly significant. So, gosh, I have to. Usually I'm really good at being able to remember all of these, what the angel numbers stand for. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time speaking. I believe the 8s remind us that we are abundant infinitely, and that we are always cared for. Even if you think about 8 turned sideways, the infinity symbol, yeah, that we're just always continuing on. So the Strength card, in addition to being an 8, the Strength card is just about that, reminding us that we have the strength that we need to get through any situation. And sometimes that strength is represented in other ways by like muscles or big feats of strength. But this card is usually depicted as a woman sitting with a lion. She's standing and there's a tame lion with her. And this card is all about our inner strength, the quiet strength. It's more about determination and fortitude, and also the ability to be soft in our strength as well, and how important that can be. Nope. Nope. Okay. All right. Okay, that feels good. We'll stop there. We have Ace of Vibes, Ace of Wands. Aces are new beginnings. So, new beginnings in areas where we are feeling passionate, new beginnings in places that we're feeling creative, taking action, new steps, new cycles moving forward, and Judgment. They really, really enjoy a repeating message. So Judgment is also a card that represents beginnings, renewals specifically. So new beginnings, right? New beginnings. We have Ace of Wands, and then I was saying to you, and Judgment is also a card of beginnings. And then right under Judgment, we have the Ace of Swords, breakthroughs. The Ace of Swords represents breakthroughs, clarity, opening doors for communication and things moving forward. overall, I mean, a big message tonight, friends, but I think a positive one for us to keep in mind, you know, that things are changing. There's endings and beginnings, but there are new beginnings all around us and reasons to feel encouraged. There's clarity coming. There's new action coming. There's new passions coming. There's the reminder that, you know, we have everything we need to be able to get through it. We have, right, the magician. We have everything we need within us already to navigate this chapter. And then we have 7, 8, 9, all of this progression, right? Things moving forward. You have 4, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. A bunch of aces. What else do we have here? Justice. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but we're gonna be just fine. Just take care of each other. Be kind. Don't be nice. Being nice is bullshit. Be kind. Be genuine. Be authentic. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. See how you can be a larger part of your community. Make friends with your neighbors if you're not. Get to know your neighbors. We might like really need each other soon. I love my neighbors. My neighbors are great. All right, now we're just rambling. Fine, Spirit. One more. Okay. I think this is the most cards I've done for one of these so far. We're gonna do, I mean, just for like the sheer number of cards that came out. We're gonna pull one from, this is the Witching Hour Oracle. Spirit says that, like, that was kind of a lot, but that it was like important. But then they're like, we're just gonna like lighten it up / wrap it up a little bit. Which I'm curious to see how that's gonna be, because this is not a lighten it up kind of a deck. Like, I have some sassy, funny decks that they like to use, like when it's been a heavy reading and they want to lighten it up. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out. All right, Spirit, what else? The one thing you had to tell us before we left. All right. Interesting. All right. This card says 16, prying eyes. Someone has their eyes on you. I just seen how dirty they were. Hey, I keep it all the way real here, friends. All right. Keywords. Someone has their eyes on you, competition or defensiveness. Someone is keeping a close eye on you. Whether they have good intentions or bad is not yet clear. What is clear is that you're doing something right. Others are taking notice of you, and you will not be able to stay under the radar for much longer. This also means opportunities will become more frequent, and you may find yourself contemplating prospects you haven't considered before. This is excellent, and for anyone wishing to be in the public eye, seeking employment, or looking for new love, you have caught the attention of someone who matters. Okay, well, this sounds really good so far. I was a little nervous. This does sound good. However, shining brighter attracts attention, both good and bad. Be careful of jealousy and rivalry. Every successful person experiences copycats, no matter how high your vibration or how small your platform. Shadows are attracted to the light the same way a moth is attracted to a flame. You may experience more competition or even a straight-on attack. Don't dim your light, but take proper measures to protect yourself. All right, I love that. That's a helpful, I guess a helpful warning, sure. I think that's gonna do it for the reading. Fours, it was 4004 on the timer when I noticed that. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can do that through my website and only through my website. It's the only way to work with me. I will not reach out to you to solicit a reading. If anybody does that, they are a copycat, a scammer, just like that thing said. Gratefully, I haven't run into that too much yet, but I have had a couple of people like pretending to be me. So if anybody messages you or puts a WhatsApp number in a comment, it's not me. I'm never gonna do that. Again, the only way you can work with me is through my website. Well, actually, that's not entirely true right this second. I am running a sale. I'm still not going to DM you. I'm still not going to give you a phone number, a WhatsApp of any kind. But I am running a flash sale this month and probably October as well. It's called Cards for Cards because your girl enjoys a fun play on words. I'm a word nerd. I will put the link in the description box. So I have a wish list of tarot and oracle decks I'm interested in getting. I'm doing a card of the day or message of the day every day in October. I did that last year. It was really fun. And I would like to be able to use as many different decks as possible. And I just thought it would be a really fun way to add to my collection. So most of the decks that are on the wish list are lower than the cost of my lowest reading, which is $22.22. So if you want to participate, some of them are as low as like $9.99. So it really actually could be quite a sale. I think the majority of them are like kind of in the $15 to $20 range, but if you're interested, you can go to the wish list and purchase one of those decks, and then you can send me a message, either an email, or if you have Insta, you can send me a screenshot there, and you can let me know that you purchased the deck. And then when the deck gets to me, your reading, sorry, did I not say we're gonna trade? This is how you get a reading. Instead of just buying the reading through my website, you get the deck, and then when the deck comes, you get the first reading with that deck. So I think it's really fun. I've had a couple people join in already, and did the first reading for the first person the other day, and actually got a new one today, so I'll be doing somebody else's reading tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, if you're interested in participating in that, the link's down there. I'm just gonna stop there. Have a great day, night, whenever you get this. Take care. See you later. Peace out. Bye.